Hey guys, Josh here. Today we are here to review the second day of testing ahead of the F1 2016 season. Thank you so much for the amazing support on the first day review. Here we are then with the second day, and once again it was Sebastian Vettel with the fastest time for the second day in a row. A 1:22.810 is a very respectable time, easily quicker than the pole position time that we saw at the 2015 Spanish Grand Prix, but it's very worthy noting that that time from Vettel was set on the ultra soft tyres. Yes, that's right, it's the new purple striped tyre for 2016. And we saw it being run for the very first time today on track. We're not going to be seeing it until Monaco. That's what's believed at the moment. Of course, it's a tyre that degrades very quickly and will be unsafe for most circuits, and it's very likely we're only probably going to see it at 3 or 4 rounds this year, and of course that's if the teams choose to use it. I do believe though it's going to be used in Q3 at Monaco, and that's pretty much guaranteed. So Monaco is probably going to be the next time we're going to see the ultra soft tyres after this 8 days of testing. But yeah, great to see the debut of the ultra soft tyres, and great to see Sebastian Vettel on top today. But it was a day not without issues for the Ferrari man. The Ferrari stopped on track with just 5 minutes to go, so slight worry there for Ferrari right at the end of the session. But if you're going to have a failure at any time, probably it's best to have the failure right at the end of the session. They haven't lost any track time really there, and as long as they can get the car up and running tomorrow, they should be fine. That's Vettel done then for this week. We'll see him back in the car next week, but for now though it's Raikkonen in for Wednesday and Thursday. In second place then was Daniel Ricciardo, also setting his time on the ultra soft tyres. It was a really good day of running for Ricciardo. 112 laps completed. Sebastian Vettel putting in 126 laps as well. So really good mileage all the way through the field. Vettel on 126, Ricciardo on 112. Red Bull's kind of reliability woes, and really the whole field really has just been way more reliable than what we've seen in the previous 2 years. And it is really good to see a strong reliability. So really it's going to come down to who has the quickest car. And we're not going to be seeing the McLaren Honda breaking down every single corner. Same with the Red Bull. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're not going to be seeing that. We're not going to be seeing ridiculous amounts of engine penalties in 2016. Daniel Ricciardo then, as I mentioned, was second fastest, and of course using that ultra soft tyre. Vettel and Ricciardo were the only two drivers to use the ultra soft tyre, and of course that's why they're the top two in the standings. Ricciardo's 7/10 off Ferrari. It very much looks like Red Bull are pretty much in the same place this year as they were last year. Of course, you can't judge too much on testing times, but they haven't really shown the pace where they're going to be challenging Ferrari and Mercedes. But very much we could see a really good fight between Red Bull, Williams, and another team, and that team is the team I'm about to come on to, and that is Force India. They were third fastest today on the super soft tyres, with Sergio Perez driving, of course, taking over from Silverstone Jr. But get this, he was just 1/10 off Ricciardo on the super soft tyres. Very impressive, considering that the difference between the super softs and the ultra softs should probably be about 7 or 8 tenths. So very impressive stuff from Perez and Force India. Of course, that 2016 car being very much an evolution rather than a revolution of their 2015 car. So, really good, promising signs from Force India so far. Of course, that, new Toyota wind tunnel in Cologne is really helping them out, and they're really reaping the benefits of that. As I mentioned before, though, of course, you can't judge too much into pace, testing pace, but still, I think we could actually be seeing Force India being very competitive right out the box, and it could be a bit like, I guess, their 2014 season. That's a pretty good comparison. They could actually be the third or fourth quickest car to start off with, and then maybe as their focus shifts to 2017. Then, maybe they will tail off towards the end of the season, but certainly, I believe right at the start of the season, we're going to see Perez and Hülkenberg right up there. And on the subject of Sergio Perez, of course, he unveiled his new helmet today. We saw that on track for the very first time, and it looks very nice. There's plenty of pictures in this slideshow in the background of this video. And it is really nice. I do absolutely love it. I wasn't too fond of his 2015 helmet, but he's really improved it in my eyes for 2016 and gone back to his kind of bright design for his helmet, and it looks really cool. Should see Hulkenberg back in the car tomorrow. I do believe what Force India are doing tomorrow is splitting the driving duties. So Perez in the morning, and then we'll finally see Nico Hulkenberg in the afternoon. Then we'll also see Hulkenberg for the full day on the Thursday. That's the current plan as I understand it. Force India then, Sergio Perez setting a 123.650 and setting 101 laps. So getting over the 100 mark for Force India, very, very impressive stuff from them. As I mentioned, pretty much every team having really, really good reliability today. Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes then was 4th fastest, but he was on the medium tyres. He's at a 124.8, of course, 2 seconds back from Sebastian Vettel, but considering the difference between the tyres, that's a pretty good lap from Mercedes. If they put on the ultra soft tyres, I think they, even without sandbagging, they'd probably be faster than Ferrari, I would say at this point. But, it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, we should see the ultra soft tyres on that Mercedes, hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully, more teams other than Ferrari and Red Bull will move to the ultra soft tyres, and we'll see some really, really competitive lap times, certainly next week, and hopefully in these final 2 days as well. Rosberg then 4th, and a very, very impressive 172 laps for him, even more impressive than Lewis Hamilton yesterday. And if you combine their two totals over the last 2 days, according to Reed Motorsport, very, very good site by the way, one I write for, shameless plug there, their 2 laps combined over these past 2 days are equal to 5 Spanish Grand Prix race distances. So Mercedes clearly have the best reliability on the grid. They've come straight out of the box and immediately reliable, can just put in those laps and get so much data from all those laps they're doing. It's really, really going to give them a helping hand in their fight against Ferrari. So another fantastic day for Mercedes. Clearly not chasing lap times, but certainly the reliability is there. 5th fastest was Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber. He was on the soft tyres, and of course, with that 2015 car, nothing really too much to say about Sauber. Once again, just like yesterday, their reliability is probably going to be fine because, of course, they're running a car they've run for a whole year now. 108 laps as well for Sauber, but I guess a good bit of a practice for Ericsson, and I guess practice on these tyres as well, of course. Although of course the 2016 car will probably treat the tyres very differently. I guess all testing is worth it really for Sauber. And of course in their fight against Manor and possibly even Haas as well. And speaking of Haas, they were 6th fastest with Esteban Gutierrez. Gutierrez setting his 125.5 on the soft tyres, just 3/10 back from a 2015 Sauber. Not a bad effort from him. Nice to see Gutierrez back in Formula 1, and with a new helmet as well, very much paying tribute to his home country, of course, Mexico. It's pretty much just a Mexican flag on his helmet, as far as I can tell. Nice bit of green and a nice bit of red and white in there as well. So yeah, his new helmet looks very nice. He's ditched the yellow one that he used for 2 years at Sauber, and I can pretty much see why. Not because the design's bad, which in my opinion it was, but basically I think he just wants to move on from his 2 years at Sauber, and really Haas is a major new beginning for him, and hopefully a platform for better things for the Mexican. And also Haas bringing their reinforced front wing today to avoid a repeat of what happened yesterday, where the front wing flew off the car down the main straight. That was very, very embarrassing for all involved, but that seems to have fixed that problem, and hopefully we won't see any more front wings detaching from that Haas. Valtteri Bottas was 7th fastest, and I do believe that time was set on a soft tyres, 125.648. Williams have been very much going under the radar, especially today. They're really just kind of putting in the laps. Bottas managing to set 134 laps today. I also forgot to mention Gutierrez set 79 laps. Haas for Haas, the mileage is not quite there yet, but I'm guessing once they get a few more days of testing, experience under their belt, they should be up to full running and hopefully matching the lap set by some of their rivals. But good pace for Haas, 6th fastest today, of course, testing times don't matter, I know, but it's, still a pretty decent lap from them, just about under 3 seconds back from the pace setting Ferrari. Valtteri Bottas, again, at just under 3 seconds back from Vettel, and like I mentioned, kind of under the radar really, Bottas. They're getting a new nose for Melbourne, hopefully, but that's still in doubt. We may not see it until possibly Bahrain or Russia. Of course, Russia being at the start of the season now, in case you didn't know. I do believe it's the 4th round of the season. Comes after Bahrain, I do believe now. It goes, I don't know, sorry, it's the third round, isn't it? But yeah, because we don't have Malaysia anymore at the start of the season. That's moved to the back end of the season. So I do believe that, is it the start? I think it's right. I think I'm right in saying it's Australia, Bahrain, China, Russia. It's certainly something like that. I'll look it up later, but it's either Bahrain or China Bahrain. It's one of those ways around it. They seem to swap it every single season now. Anyway, back to testing. Pascal Wehrlein was 8th fastest in the Mana. On the soft tyres, he managed to do a 1:25.9. So a decent lap from Mana. I don't think they have, I think people are kind of jumping the gun really on them and, hoping they have a lot more pace than they do. I definitely think they are going to be there, but really if you look at that lap time, it's 1:10 faster than McLaren, but it's not quite up there with the likes of Haas and the 2015 Sauber, so I really wouldn't read too much into that so far, but certainly all signs point to them having a fairly competitive car this year, certainly a lot more competitive than the 2015 car, and of course, Mana, that their aero is not that complex, so I can't really see them being right up, in the midfield, but certainly they could be, pretty competitive at the back, scoring points regularly, I very much hope. Fernando Alonso was 9th fastest then, and they managed to set 119 laps, much more than Mana, who managed to set 71 laps, by the way. Keep on forgetting to mention that, how many laps people set. Alonso then in the McLaren on the soft tyres, 1:26.0, over 3 seconds back from the Ferrari. So really, this day, the reliability is definitely there. That's certainly promising. I do believe McLaren have already set way, more laps than they did in the whole of pre-season testing last year. So the reliability does seem to be, fixed, but is the pace there? That remains to be seen, and really remains to be seen some good pace from McLaren, really. Yesterday they were 6th fastest, which wasn't bad, but they were on the soft tyres. Today, they're back on the soft tyres again, managed to do a 1:26.0, which is 7/10 faster than Button managed yesterday. But still, a lot of work to be done for McLaren, and I'm not sure if that Honda engine is, really improved in terms of pace, but certainly reliability is there, so very promising for any McLaren fans out there. And as I mentioned yesterday, they're getting a new spec engine next week and in Melbourne as well. Jolyon Palmer was 10th fastest, a tough day for Renault, 1:26.1, 10th off McLaren, but over 3 seconds off the pace-setting Ferrari. 42 laps only for Palmer, more than he managed yesterday, but still problems down at Renault. They certainly had the worst pre-season testing of anybody else. They stopped on track early on, just like yesterday. They had problems yesterday and problems today with these engine. Apparently the turbo failed, smoke pouring out of that Renault, and it had to be taken back to the pits, and not much running was done thereafter. 42 laps then for the Renault, not very good, and hopefully they can turn it around, but not looking like the best start to the 2016 season, and not the best start to Renault returning as a manufacturer to Formula 1. A lot of work needs to be done for Renault and Jolyon Palmer. Of course, we'll see Kevin Magnussen in the car tomorrow, I do believe. Max Verstappen was 11th. He managed to set a 1:26.755. Yeah, a bit worrying, I think, in terms of pace. It's certainly not there for Toro Rosso at the moment. Verstappen was 4/10 faster than Sainz. Sainz's lap from yesterday, but Sainz was on the medium tyres yesterday, so I think that pretty much proves Toro Rosso are certainly not chasing lap time. But it's going to be interesting to see, what they can do this year with that 2015 Ferrari engine. A difficult day for them as well, in the respect that they did stop on track, but apart from that, they really did recover well, setting 121 laps, breaking the 100 lap barrier. So it's really good to see, so many teams breaking that 100 lap barrier. We saw Ferrari, we saw Red Bull, we saw Force India, we saw Mercedes, Sauber, of course, although that one, as I mentioned, doesn't really matter because it's last year's car. We saw Williams breaking the 100 lap barrier. We even saw McLaren breaking the 100 lap barrier. So just kind of reiterates my point from earlier that the reliability is really much better for the whole team, and it is really good to see cars not blowing up left, right and centre, and actually having a pretty reliable grid, and that should be what it's like for the whole season, really. So that's pretty much it then for day 2 of testing. Just to recap then the order: Vettel, Ricciardo, Perez, Rosberg, Ericsson, Gutierrez, Bottas, Wehrlein, Alonso, Palmer and Verstappen. So you guys can let me know down in the comment section below, what do you think of day 2? What do you think of Renault's issues as well in particular? They do seem to have the worst pre-season testing so far. What do you guys think about the battle at the front as well? Do Force India have a chance of regular points, regular podiums? Do Manor have a chance of regular points? And what about the battle between Ferrari and Mercedes? How do you see that one developing in 2016? You guys can let me know all of that down in the comment section below. Until tomorrow, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.